Hi, I'm Taya Williams. Thank you for joining me here on Taya's Sweet Aroma. Today I am going to be sharing with you the recipe for my homemade pizza rolls. This pizza roll recipe is one that I have been making for years. My kids love it. I don't even remember what persuaded me to put everything together like this. I think I was just kind of playing around in the kitchen one day, and it's been a family favorite ever since. As far as the ingredients go, I'm going to be using my homemade pizza dough. Now, if you don't want to make a batch, or if you don't want to make homemade pizza dough, you can go ahead and go to your local pizzeria and ask them for some dough. They usually will sell you dough. But I do recommend that you at least check out my video that I just posted for my homemade pizza dough. You'll see that it is actually very, very easy to put together. Now I'm gonna go ahead right now and finish getting a few ingredients prepped and ready so we can go over the ingredients. The ingredients you're gonna need for these pizza rolls is some whole milk ricotta, some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some whole milk mozzarella, some pepperoni slices, an egg, extra virgin olive oil, fresh basil, some Italian seasoning, granulated garlic, some salt, and in this bowl I have some salted butter as well as some granulated garlic, but we'll get to that later. It's gonna be what we use for the topping, as well as some pizza dough. Now this pizza dough is one that, if you follow my recipe, it makes up 2 medium pizzas. And I did allow it to sit and rise, and it has now doubled in size. I'm gonna start off first by getting the filling ready for these pizza rolls. What you wanna do is you wanna add your ricotta cheese to a bowl, lightly beat your egg, add that in. It all comes together pretty easily. I probably should have used a bigger bowl, but it looks like it's gonna work. And now I'm gonna add in all this seasoning. Now it isn't that much salt. The reason for that is because the Parmesan cheese has some salt as well as the mozzarella and the pepperoni. So you wanna make sure that you keep that in mind as you are making these rolls, that the salt content will come from more than just the amount of salt that I add into this recipe. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all mixed together well. I have all the filling mixed together. I'm gonna go ahead and set it aside so I can get the dough ready. Now for the dough, what you want to do is you want to halfen this dough. Like I said, it will make 2 medium-sized pizzas. So I'm gonna go ahead, deflate it, and just eyeball it and take half of it from the bowl. The rest I will get to here in a second. Now for the dough, what you want to do is get it a little flat, then take your dough, and I am trying to get this rolled out to about a medium size. Once you have your dough stretched to about 14 inches in diameter, remember this is the first half, what you want to do is you want to take a pizza cutter or a knife, and this dough is really easy to work with. You can stretch it and play with it however much you want to get it into this circle shape. So what I want to do now is I am going to cut the pizza. Well, it's not quite a pizza yet, but I'm going to cut it into 8 slices. This recipe is going to get you 16 rolls. Everything does not have to be perfect. And what I do with this mixture is I take half of it. Well, and the way I like to do it is I flatten it. Then I sort of eyeball it, and I know, okay, this half can get used for this, and then the rest of it I will save and use for the other rolls. Okay. Now what you want to do is get your spoon or whatever you want to work with and spread this ricotta mixture all the way out, leaving just the tip of it without anything on it. Okay, now that all the ricotta has been placed on, what you want to do next is take some, again, half of the mozzarella cheese, so kind of just eyeballing it, and top everywhere where there's some ricotta at. Now don't be stingy with this cheese at this stage. The ricotta mixture is going to actually help to keep it sticking. Now you take some of your pepperoni. You want to add about 4 to 5. more or less if you would like. Okay, now as you guessed it, it's just all about rolling at this stage. So you want, this is gonna actually help seal it at the end. So what you wanna do, hold it tightly and begin rolling it together. And once you get to this end, this is actually what's gonna sit in the pan. One thing I forgot to do was I was supposed to oil my pan, so I'm gonna take this olive oil, just sort of drizzle it all over the pan. It'll help keep the rolls from sticking. Then you wanna take your roll, add it to your pan, seam side down, and I'm gonna continue to do this. As soon as I'm done with these, I'll go ahead and start the next roll, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're all in the pan. Okay, all the rolls have now been put into the pan. One thing you may notice is they seem a little longer towards the end, but what you wanna do is you wanna kind of smush them together, still not overcrowding, but get them nice and together where they're touching really well. Be sure to use a high side 9 by 13 inch pan. What I have to do now is I'm gonna cover them with plastic wrap, allow them to rise for the second time. This should only take about 30 minutes or so. So in the meantime, I'm gonna start my oven to preheating at 400 degrees. And as soon as they've risen, I'll show you what they look like. The pizza rolls have now had a chance to rise slightly while I was preheating the oven. It's been roughly around 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put these into the oven and allow them to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes, and I will show you what they look like when I get back. My pizza rolls are now ready. What I'm gonna do right away, because I wanna let this sit for at least 5 minutes. It'll give it a chance to set a little bit more as I've melted down that butter from earlier. I'm gonna mix in this garlic, and you wanna take it and brush it over the top right as they come out of the oven. The reason I mean, you could, if you didn't wanna use the butter at this stage, you could just use a little extra virgin olive oil. That would be fine as well. I just like the flavor of the butter at the very top of the crust. Okay, I've allowed the rolls to sit and rest for just a bit. I want to show you what they look like on the inside. So you can see here how nice and ooey and gooey the inside of these rolls are. I can just smell the yeast from the pizza dough, as well as the garlic and the butter. It just smells so good. So here's my pizza roll. Right here, I like to serve these up with some of my homemade marinara. And you can dip them, put it on them, however you want to do. I shouldn't need a fork for this. It's very hot still. So I'm gonna go ahead, scoop some up, give it a try. I should not have bit that way. It is so good though. I got a big mound of cheese. That pepperoni gives it a little bit of a kick. I mean, that filling is flavored perfectly. Nice crusty exterior on the side of the rolls. The marinara just complements it. Makes it that much better. You got to give these rolls a try. I can't sit here talking about them, although I want to keep getting into more details, but me and the kids got to get ready. We have Bible study tonight. So anyhow, be sure to give these rolls a try. Down below in this description box, I'll be sure to include a link where you can find these recipes, where you can find this recipe as well as the recipe for my marinara. And I thank you for spending time with me here today, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.